Thank you so much for joining me today on Paint a Beautiful Picture. This is episode number 193. Just get through it. All of us come up against situations, people, circumstances, challenges that we're not doing very well with. As I like to say it, sometimes I get so cranky, I don't even want to have to be with myself. I don't have a way of escape, so I'm kind of stuck with me because I get cranky sometimes when I'm really challenged. None of us are at our best when we have excessive amounts of stress or excessive amounts of strain, but it happens to every single one of us. It really does. So you need to intentionally approach those times with a specific attitude. That attitude is just get through it. If your mom and dad are elderly and one of them is ill, has cancer, has Alzheimer's, has Parkinsonian dementia, you have a lot of stress. Then you have an older teenager or a young person in college, and they are really making some poor life decisions. You have a ton of responsibility at work, and your boss is on your back about why hasn't this gotten done, and you've really fallen down on your job performance. You're just getting it from every possible angle you can get it from. You're doing your very best to hang on to the very last thread of anything that you've got that's helping you to cope. And man, you just somehow, you're like, I'm going crazy and I don't know if I'm going to make it. That's where this attitude becomes a really big deal. Just get through it. Honestly, you don't have another choice, to be truthful. I mean, yeah, you can run away, and then you have to deal with the sense of being a failure and all the people you disappointed. So I'm telling you, no matter what, in one way or another, you do have to handle it. So you first of all acknowledge, I'm just one person. I'm doing what I can do, and I really need some help or support here, and get it anywhere you can. Seriously. If that's your spouse and you say, honey, I really need you to take every bit of pressure off of me that you can right now. That might mean that you have extra burdens with the kids or an extra amount of responsibility, like taking over paying the bills for a while and you've never done it before, and I'll take you through it. But I just need you to take some of this stuff off my plate for me. So you appeal to your spouse. You go to your siblings. You're like, look, I know I'm the oldest. I've always handled all these things and I'm handling them now. But I'm kind of at the end of my rope here and I need some help and I need some support. And give them ideas because if they've never done it before, they don't know what that means. That's just language, but that's not helping them. So you give them concrete ideas. I need you to sit with mom and dad every Tuesday night from 4 until 11:30. I need you to do this and be helpful and supportive to me. You go to your friends and you say, I am about ready to lose my mind. I need you to pray for me. I need you to call me a couple times a week and ask me how I'm doing. I need you to send me something hysterical on the internet so I can at least laugh and have a little comic relief. You need to learn how to state what you need and you need to ask for it. And there's nothing bad about that. You are not Superman. You are not Supermom. You are not Superwoman. You are not super anybody. You are one single human being doing your best to get by, and sometimes your best is hardly good enough because there's so much to deal with. So you get some help, and you're not ashamed to ask for it. Okay? Then you need to be gracious to yourself. Okay, so you blow it. You yell at your wife, you yell at your kids, you kick the dog. You're not even very nice to your coworkers. You know, my I'm so cranky with myself thing. You lose your cool with your mom or your dad, and heaven forbid they're doing all they can do and their health is already suffering, but you lost it. You're yelling and screaming at your husband. I can't stand one more minute of this. Whatever. You're acting badly. Okay? Hardly any of us ever act our best when we're stressed out, when we're frustrated, when we have a lot on our plate. It is normal that we're going to, at some point, let off a certain amount of steam, probably maybe not in the most productive or in the most kind way. Okay? So if someone else did that and they came to you, they said, "Man, I'm so sorry I acted like a real creep," you'd go, "Yeah, I understand you're under a lot. I forgive you. I really do. I get it." You need to be that kind and that gracious to yourself. And you need to give yourself a little bit of space sometimes. That doesn't mean go out and get drunk, go out and get wasted, snort however much couple lines of cocaine. It doesn't mean act stupidly. It's not what I'm saying to you. It means go watch a movie, go bowling, do something completely unrelated to everything that's been going on in your world. Go ride your motorcycle for an hour or two. Go hang out with your girlfriend shopping for an afternoon and eat a nice lunch. Do something that gives you a certain amount of relief from all the stress and the pressure. Be that kind and that gracious to yourself. And then buckle down. And all of us know how to do this. We don't like it. Some people aren't as good at it, and some people don't have much self discipline, but it really needs to happen. And the reason why is you are intentionally teaching your son or your daughter that there are some things you just have to get through. Just get through it. And how you do it is you buckle down. You say, yeah, this is the pits, but it's not going to be forever. Yes, this is a really rough patch, but I can do this. We have to be really careful about the language that we use in self talk. I hear people constantly say, I can't do this. I just can't do this. I can't do this. I really can't do this. You know what? They're right. They're telling themselves what they really know or believe is true, and they're not going to do it, and they're not going to get through it. And people who say, I can do this. This is very hard, but I can do this. This is really painful. I can manage this. This is very, very frustrating. And yet, I can do this. I'm going to get through this. What do you know? They do. You have to be careful what you say to yourself, and you need to be very wise in what you teach your children to say. Because often you may not hear yourself clearly, but you're going to hear your children repeat the messages you say in front of them repeatedly. And so pay attention to what your children are saying as well as what you are saying, and learn to say, I can do this. There's actually something to say for that little train that said, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, and he got over the mountain. The reason that that story rings true for us is because it is so true. You need to learn how to tell yourself, I can do this. I can manage this. I am going to get through this. I am going to be okay. And you're going to believe what you say, and you will. So learn to speak to yourself very intentionally and wisely that you will be able to get through this. I'm going to buckle down, and I am going to get through this. This is a very intentional thing. I did not say to you that this is easy, but I am going to say to you definitively, it is possible. And that possibility is entirely in your hands. I want you to hear me loudly and clearly about this. Sometimes life just gets so out of hand, and it's practically beyond our control. We need to expend our energy on the things we can control, and we can control ourselves and our own attitudes. Do things, even briefly, 5 or 10 minutes a day, that give you great joy. Go stand out in the backyard. Take in some deep breaths. Look at the beauty of the season. Put up a bird feeder and watch the birds for a few minutes. Get a nice fish tank and watch the fish. Do something for yourself that gives you a couple minutes of joy. It is very appropriate to participate in self-care while you are under a lot of stress and going through a lot of challenge. Be really careful how you speak to yourself, and speak to yourself positively. When you do something right, when you go through something really tough, really awful, really difficult, you say to yourself at the end of it, I'm so proud of you. You made it. You made it through this day. You made it through this season. You did it. Good for you. I am really proud of you. That was awesome. Don't be afraid to be your own cheerleader. And learn to pray. My son was on a Saturday session with me, and he said, even if you don't believe in God, pray because it does great things for you. There's actually tons of research that back that up. Go to God and say, this is a whole lot more than I can handle, than I can carry, than I know what to do with. I really need your help here. Please help me. I always say, even if you don't believe in God, He does believe in you. That's a fact. And so don't be afraid to ask Him for help. He's right there. And what do you know? He's actually listening. I want you to understand that in life's darkest moments, even a birthday candle can bring a lot of light. Look for those little places of light and keep going. Persevere. You can, and I think you will make it. You can get through it. So hang on and keep doing your best. Thank you so much for being with me today on Paint a Beautiful Picture. Please leave me a question, a comment, a suggestion, even a thumbs up if you like this video, and I will look forward to seeing you again soon on Paint a Beautiful Picture. You may find additional information on our paintabeautifulpicture.com website. Additionally, you may watch me on Rumble, and you may also listen to a podcast on Buzzsprout or Spreaker, all under the name Paint a Beautiful Picture. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. You may subscribe, and if you are interested in receiving notifications, please hit the notifications button.